All right, so it's often said that you're a result of the 5 people you spend most of your time with, all right? But what does that even mean? It means that we are unmistakably a result and a byproduct of our environments, okay? Fortunately, I'm in a community that's full of barrel-chested alpha males that continue to push me forward and push me harder every single day. A bunch of brilliant dudes. Also dudes that will absolutely bust my balls for going out on a limb and doing anything like this. So it's a weighted dilemma that I'm dealing with. But check it out. If you've listened to anything else on this channel, if you've watched anything else, now granted the channel's in its infancy, right? There's not a ton of content on there, and it's kind of sporadic, right? The whole concept of this channel is developing yourself to be a better, well-rounded human being, okay? It's not just about physical fitness. It's not just about nutrition. It's not just about the relationships you have with your kids and your wife and your family and whatever, okay? It's about it's about education too, and continually trying to develop your mindset, all right? Super important. If anything is important, it's the mindset that you take forward, okay? So, I haven't always been a lifelong learner, all right? I dropped out of high school when I was 18 years old because I was an idiot, okay? I was a stupid kid, but unfortunately, I can't go back in time and change anything, all right? All I can do now is get on the path and continue to push the pace to get better, okay? I haven't necessarily lived an unsuccessful life, okay? I have a great family. I have a great job. I have awesome friends. I love my job. All in all, things are actually pretty good, right? But over the past year, I've kind of stumbled onto something almost by accident, right? And it's the power of reading, okay? I can't take full credit for kind of getting on this path. I'm going to kind of pay it where it's due as we go through this, but it's definitely the power of reading that I've implemented over the past year in my life that's helped to get me on this path and keep me on this path, okay? Like I said in the beginning, you're the result of the 5 people that you hang around with, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to find those people, but they're out there, okay? And some places you can find those people are simply in books. Okay, now I don't know any of these people. They don't know me. They probably never will. But they've undoubtedly been an inspiration in my life over the past year, okay? And I'm not going to go through every author. I'm not going to go through every book. But I can tell you, and one author specifically I'll get into kind of at the end, that I kind of view these guys as mentors, period. Because I've read through their stuff, and I've taken little pearls and nuggets of wisdom, and I've implemented them in my life, and they've helped me change for the better. Okay, so up to this point, I've read about 17 books this year. It's said that most high performers read about 52 books a year. I'm on the path right now to read about 36 books, right, if things go my way. It's about a book a week, okay, not unreasonable. An hour a day, 30 minutes in the morning, 30 minutes at night, however you crack that egg is up to you. But completely reasonable, okay? So I'm going to breeze through some of the books that I've read this year. I'll probably put them in the links or something below, kind of giving you something to put you on some way to Amazon. But I'm not going to include the authors. It's just going to take me too long. All right, so first, Left the Bank. I think I read that on like January 1st. Next, on Guerrilla Warfare, Gates of Fire. Gates of Fire is an awesome book. If you want to get motivated, read Gates of Fire, all right? That's when men were men. Those are some hard dudes. All right, Unbeatable Mind, The Compound Effect, great book. The Scalpel and the Bear. I had to read it for a college class. Not that great of a book. Interesting, but whatever. All right, Warrior of the Light. Grant Cardone wrote a few books. I read 10X, Be Obsessed or Be Average, and the Millionaire Booklet. 1 Second After. I read this years ago and kind of reviewed it. It's a good book. Essentially, it's about an EMP that happens over the United States and wipes out all the electronics in America. Kind of a post-apocalyptic type story. Awesome book. It's kind of an interest of mine, right? I'm not a doomsday prepper, but I think having a certain level of preparedness and a certain amount of skills as as a man to kind of take care of your family is important. So maybe we'll get into something like that a little later on, right? Another interest of mine. Next, we got The One Thing. I stumbled upon that book by complete accident. Awesome book. Sovereignty, good book. I have nothing bad to say about any of these books that I've read. Not any of these books that I'm like, oh man, I wish I wouldn't have spent the time reading those books. All in all, they're all good books. Okay. Actually, the one book, I'm looking at it now, that made me decide to do this social media thing, right? Start this channel, go on Instagram at PowerDad365, by the way. Was Crush It, all right? It's a Gary Vaynerchuck. If you don't know who he is, look him up. He will inspire you, okay? And in his book Crush It, he talks about self branding, right? I truly believe that what I'm putting out here, like, I'm a normal human being, okay? Some of these people that we see in all these books and on TV, they almost seem like untouchables, right? I'm a normal human being that's trying to pass on the message that what these guys are putting out is real, okay? So I am branding that journey that I'm taking right now along that road of self-improvement and trying to become a better human being. Okay, I can't go without giving credit to Jocko Willink. If you've never heard of him, he was a SEAL commander in the SEAL teams. We'll overlook that, even though he was a SEAL. But awesome stuff he's putting out. Okay, a lot of good books. He wrote Extreme Ownership. He has, I think he's doing like an extreme. I don't want to say an Extreme Ownership 2, but it's and maybe I'm wrong, like a follow-on book on that same concept, but essentially it's on, taking responsibility for your actions, owning up to your mistakes, and just being accountable, right? We got Discipline Equals Freedom Field Manual, good stuff. Lots of good concepts and stuff in here, a little bit of a blueprint on that, like how to, instead of just spitting out the information to get better, right? Which is kind of what I'm trying to do here a little bit too, right? I'm trying to show you the path to take and not just say, hey, get better. And he also wrote a couple kids books, right? So talk about dad power, right? Here's some dad power. Read to your kids. Okay, his first book that he wrote was Where the Warrior Kid. It's about this kid, Marc, right here. Marc is finishing up his school year, had kind of a rough school year, and is starting summer. And his uncle comes home for the summer, his Uncle Jake, and he is teaching him basically how to be better, how to learn, how to do stuff, right? And it's an awesome book, okay? Read it to your kid. I wish something like this was out when I was a kid, because I think it's great to get your kids on the path at an early age, okay? So the first one we read, Where the Warrior Kid, and then he just came out with a sequel, or not a sequel, but a continuation. It's Marc's Mission, okay? Marc's the kid. He's a little bit older, a little bit of different troubles, but awesome book, awesome stuff in the book. Okay, so check it out. Read to your kids. So yeah, most of my free time nowadays isn't. I don't watch a lot of TV unless it's documentaries. Okay, sometimes I will. All right, but I try not to. Other than that, it's reading books and podcasts. Okay, I don't always read hard copy books. If I'm traveling, I'll use my Kindle. Super convenient, right? And if I'm not reading the Kindle or reading the hard book, I have an Audible account set up, so I just listen to an Audible book. And sometimes, like, even if I'm running or I'm out on a hike or something like that, nothing too mind focused on the task at hand, I'll throw in an audio book and just kind of, crush two birds with one stone. But there's tons of information out there, okay? Do not underestimate the power of reading, okay? Read a book. It's part of that process of becoming a better, well-rounded individual, okay? So if you're still here at the end, I appreciate you hanging out here. I know it's not full of cats and skateboards and ridiculous nonsense like that, although sometimes funny. But it does have some gems as far as the importance of reading, okay? So going forward, this is an aspect that I'm going to kind of get into going forward, all right? I want to read a book a week. Towards the end of that week, whenever I'm done with the book, do a very short review and basically have the review geared around the pearls that I've found within the book and what I plan on attempting to implement in my life going forward. So stay tuned for that. I appreciate you watching. Leave your comments in the below, subscribe, and see what's next.